All right, so last week we started to talk about what we want to put in our first show. And again, it's going to be a little tricky because we're doing it remotely. So I'm going to kind of have people maybe record little segments and then send them to me, and I can edit it together. And again, this isn't going to be anything fancy. I just want us to kind of do something fun and that we can put on our social media and at least get other students excited, like, oh, cool, look what they're doing, and you know, try to get something fun and exciting going here. So I was looking for, let me share my screen. I was looking for where I was taking my notes last week, and I was having trouble. Finding where I took my notes. I thought I was doing them on a Google Doc, and I was having trouble finding it. So I might need you all to, I don't know what I did with it. So I might need you all to help me if your memory, I'm sure your memory is better than mine, serves you. I know we had mentioned doing like a student of the month, little preview, I think. And again, I might be getting this mixed up with the, yeah, I don't know what I did with it. And it might be on written notes. So, but not a big deal. We will just plan from there. So what did you all, for those of you that remember, and again, this is going to drive me nuts now where I had the information. Let's see who's here. So who remembers off the top of your head, while I continue to see if I have it here on a scratch paper, who remembers what we had talked about putting in our first show? Does anyone remember off the top of their head what we had talked about? No, yeah, I don't either. Again, I know we had talked about, and actually, you know what, let's go. I know one place we can, because I think we took some of our ideas from, do you all see that when I switch to a different tab, or you still just see, you do see it when I switch? Okay, awesome. Let's go back to the, because I know we were planning off of our, that Padlet that I had posted. Let's see. Oh, maybe, is this where nope, that was just more ideas. Let's see here. Brainstorm. Here we go. Let's see, ESPN. So maybe a sports. So I take with Tyrone. I like that. I'd like to publish new movies, new music. So entertainment. Challenge, Ethan, mental health minute. I liked that a lot because I think that's relevant right now. Okay. All right. So let's just build from off of there, and that's okay that we're starting fresh. So how about we start off with again, what you're seeing is a sample. This is a rundown. This is our sample rundown, and this is where we are stacking the show. So you'll see here in this kind of, well, here in the yellow column, this is like the page numbers, because each script has a page number. Talent. So when we're here at school in our real studio doing this, we'll have the talent, and that's who are the anchors, reporters, hosts. We need to put that there, because what this rundown is for is the director who is in the back, like punching up the show. They need to know who to have on camera when. So that's one of the reasons we have this. Also, you as the hosts and anchors need to know when your turn is to read. Slug, that means title. That's the title of the story. So let's say we start with, we'll call it virtual learning 2020. So, and again, I have not talked about the format here, but the form, we're going to get into that because I wanted to stack the show first before I start just throwing you a million vocabulary words. And you're like, it's easier to do it and then show it. Okay. So don't worry yourself right now with what all this stuff means. It's just the type of format the content is. So right now, virtual learning 2020. So we would introduce like, welcome back to school. We're starting off the year. A little different than we're used to. It's, welcome to virtual learning, I forget what the NTI 2D, I don't know what the code is that the title, the official title that the superintendent gave it. And then we could move it, so how's it going? We went out and asked, teachers and students. And so then, and I think this would be a good way to start our show because it's current, it's what's happening. So then we could do, I'm just going to call it reaction. And this is where we'll get, and I'll get some here too, like from teachers around here, I'll go get. So this is what we had talked about where you go ask the same people, or not the same people, a bunch of different people the same question. So your friends, your parents, even you can put it on yourself. Just say, how's virtual learning going? And I think we had already talked about this. That was what my one form was where I said, describe it in one word. Yeah, that's what we had talked about. Now it's all coming back to me. I wish I'd put more on here. Go around and ask people what, describe virtual learning in one word. And then you ask that same thing to everyone. And then we string all they're called sound bites where people say something, we string them all together. And so we have multitasking, overwhelming, difficult, challenging, unorthodox. Okay, so I do like that. And I'm actually going to change that to be one word reaction, just so we know a little bit more on what that is. And then NTI, and again, I'll explain the vocabulary. I'm just, as I said, I'm wanting to mainly just get this done. So now I think of the ideas, and this is what I say when we stack a show. We have to decide what flows, what goes with what. So I still love the idea of the mental health minute or whatever that Ethan had brought up. I think that would flow beautifully. And this, because we're talking about virtual learning, it's different. That flows perfectly into mental health minute. And I don't know that that's what you had called it before. And that doesn't, I'm just going to put it there that we don't have to call it that. But so with that, Ethan, what do you have in mind for that? Do you think it would be good to do like you on camera, like when you're at home or at school, wherever you can find a quiet spot and be like, hi, I'm Ethan Taylor. I'm here with your mental health minute, getting through it, and like do a talking segment. And here's this week's tip. Take a, whatever. I'm just talking off the top of my head. How do you visualize this segment being? Do you visualize it being talking more, or do you visualize it with a little video with a voice talking over it, or do you visualize it as like a full screen graphic with tips on it? How do you think that would play best to the audience? And Yelena and Susie, I think you picked up on that a minute ago. Ethan's back at school, so he's typing today because he's in the library. Has to be quiet. So we'll give him a minute. And Yelena and Susie, feel free to jump in and offer your opinion, because here's the deal. This segment of our class, the studio direct, this is the ultimate in teamwork projects. We all throw out ideas. We work together. We have group projects, which is the shows. This is all about teamwork in this class. So Don't ever be afraid to just jump in and add your own opinion or creative ideas. Okay, so we better kind of talk about, yes, I love that. I agree. But again, it's your show, so I wanted to get your feedback, but I agree. Okay, so I think we'll leave that. So Ethan, are you up to be my person to do that? Yes, awesome. Okay, yay. So Ethan, what I want you to do is tonight, because I'm assigning this segment to you, I want you to start thinking, and again, I think this needs to be a recurring segment because I love it. And and actually this week, did you see, I don't know if it was this week or if it was Saturday, because all my friends were posting it on Facebook. It was like World Mental Health Day or something. So that could even be our setup that, we just finished, it was raising awareness about mental health. Now more than ever, we need to be talking about mental health. I'll tell you right now, like this weekend, I was just I think we're all hitting our walls at different points. And this weekend, it just kind of like hit me. Like I'm tired. I basically spent the whole week. I didn't leave my house the whole weekend. I spent the whole weekend in pajamas. And I spent most of it in my bed on my lap. Like I was just like I didn't even do laundry this weekend because I was just tired and wiped out. I couldn't do anything. I had nothing left to give, when you hit that point. And so I think we're all, yeah, Ethan's like, yeah. So see, I'm glad I'm not the only one. and I know I'm not, because I mean, I've been talking with, other people I work with and even my mom, my 80-year-old mom, who, bless her heart, she has lots of health problems and never leaves the house, but even she's starting to get anxiety just because knowing that it's not safe to go out. And it's, and she even was like, am I crazy that I'm feeling anxious when I never leave? And I'm like, no, that's just I think everyone is. So that said, I want this to be a recurring segment because I think it's that important and I think it's that beneficial. So with that, Ethan, think about, for the first one, what you want to focus on. And kind of be thinking that out in your mind. And so tomorrow when you come, we can help figure that out more. And then I'm going to start building scripts and then you can type it in there. So now, and Yelena and Susie, jump in with what you think. So we've started out with virtual learning. Then we're going to go to Mental Health Minute, or whatever Ethan wants to call it, because it's his segment. And then what might come flow nicely after that? What might, and remember when we stack our shows, we kind of start out like when we're doing more of a newsy style show, which this one is. Now, if we're doing an entertainment show, like pure entertainment, it's going to be lighter from the get-go. Not that this is depressing. It's just, it's what's trending as far as what we're all talking about right now. So what might, as we try to flow into getting a little bit lighter, is we want to end on something super light. What might flow nicely after mental health segment? I want to throw this out there. You don't have to like it. What would you all, because someone had mentioned, I don't know, maybe it was mentioned in our, might have been mentioned in our live class and not in there. What would you all think then? Because I still, to me, in my mind, it sort of flows. What do you think now coming out of that we announce? And again, I'm sorry it's been delayed. I know I said I would have it last week, but our principal was out of the building on meetings and stuff last week. So, and he wanted to wait to make the official video announcement before we post things. But anyway, our student of the month should be later today that we'll be posting those. But I think it might flow nicely into that, announcing student of the month, and maybe getting one or two of them, just a quick you know, because a lot of, I think, at least for me and stuff, recognizing student of the month with how we're learning right now is just like people who are showing up and because it's so hard and for a lot of people. And so that might flow after that. Like, what is your tip for your student of the month during this crazy way of learning? How are you doing it? So that might flow nicely coming out of mental health is then like, it kind of ties. So do you see how it sort of ties in, but we're also getting to something a little bit lighter and happy. So if there are no objections, I might go ahead and put that there, student of the month. I put that for abbreviation. And then again, because I don't want this one to be too long, since it's our first one and because we're doing it remotely and it's a little different. How about we maybe do, let's see, segment, let's see, what about, we could do, we could do, I know Tyrone wanted to do a sports. Maybe we could do something mentioning the sports of our high school games that, yes, they're playing, but here the chat, like we could do that and then talk about it. So I kind of like adding a sports segment. And then again, Ethan, as you said, we could even mention, you know, the challenges and, you know, in Jessamine County, you know, they've already had 2 players, you know, that were diagnosed. So I suggest we go ahead and put a sports segment in there. What do y'all think? Do you like the idea of throwing a little sports segment? Yeah, Ethan, thumbs up. Awesome. So let's, again, I'm just gonna put sports, and we're gonna let Tyrone do that because Tyrone was interested in sports. And then Susie, I think you had mentioned like a joke of the day or something. I think that might be a nice way to end the show. So remember when we watched the CNN 10, the Carlos Azus, how he did like a, there's our principal. Hi, welcome back.
Did you get your cable back?
My what?
HDMI?
No, I did. Just 1 minute, because he's here. Yes, because we needed it. She needed it the other day. I'm like, oh, I never, that was never returned to me.
She's having a
Zoom. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so yeah, so Susie, yeah, so I think, so Susie, here's what I'm going to assign you. I would like you to find, and I think that'd be a fun way to end the show. So, hey, let's end with something light and fun. And, you know, we could do it where you like, you say the joke and then you give a minute, and then, so at home, people can be thinking of it, and then you give the ending. So Susie, I'm going to put you in charge of finding one funny joke, okay, that you think would be good. So that's your assignment, Susie. Find us a funny joke to end the show with. Okay, so I think, again, because I don't want to get too over, like too much for this first time, especially doing it remotely. Susie, just tell me, you can either email me or just tell me tomorrow in our class. Yeah, that would be great. So what I'm going to do is with what we have built here started today, I'm going to start kind of pre-writing the scripts, and I'm going to share this rundown with y'all too, so you all can get into it and play around with it. But what we'll do is then tomorrow I'll show you what I have, and then I'm going to kind of talk about what all these different intro, package, tag, reader, what all that means. As I said, each year I try to figure out the best way to teach this, and it's so much of scripting, and the lingo is kind of just, this year I thought I'm just going to kind of do it and show it because it's easier to, it makes more sense when you just see it versus if I tell you, well, a reader is the intro, all that kind of thing. So that was from last year. So we're going to do that. So tomorrow, now, if you have any other smaller segments that y'all would like to throw in before tomorrow, and I will post this rundown, as I said, in the in Canvas here in a minute. And so you can be looking over. If you think there's anything else small that we'd like to add, let me know tomorrow. And then, as I said, I'll have the beginning of the scripts written, and then hopefully by Wednesday, well, yes, by Wednesday, I want it done. When y'all are having your work day where you're not here for the Zoom, we can be gathering, recording at home, so you can send me the files. And then hopefully by Friday, we can post like a short little show on our social media, and for our greater audience of families and friends, and you can tell your friends and at least like get us a little taste of doing something. And then when we get back in person, and I actually still have it at my table here, and I haven't even unwrapped it. We got a brand new it's called a switcher, but what the director has that punches up the show, which that's going to be super fun, because we'll have like 3 cameras and you punch it up. And so as you're doing the show, it's being edited as you go. You don't post edit it as you do it. It's coming together. So I'm super excited about that when we get y'all back to school, hopefully sooner instead of later. We're going to have a lot of fun. So with that, are there any questions? Any questions? Okay, Ethan and Susie, since Susie, you were a little bit late, you just go back from first block. I've already got the Zoom recording posted. So for the, because Ethan, I know you're on the bus during that time. So just go back and watch the intro session and work through the things. And then Yelena, I think you're coming up next at our 10:05 session for because you're in a different class first block. So I will say goodbye to you all for now, and see Yelena shortly, and see the other 2 of you tomorrow. All right, bye y'all.